Angela Wolf, fashion designer and online instructor, and today on our trench coat we are sewing this back yoke area. A very strong signature of a trench coat, and I actually put lining on the inside of mine. You can see right here, but you can't see it from the outside, so let me give you some tips for this. You have your back piece, and because the back of my jacket on this one does not have interfacing, I want to support it somehow, so I've added fusible interfacing, and then I've cut the lining. Here I have silk charmeuse, a great combo for this fabric. So the first thing you're going to do is take these with right sides together, and we're going to stitch. I'm going to use a 3.0 stitch length with about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and just go ahead and stitch all the way to the other end. So this will be the bottom part of the yoke. There are a lot of fun options with this, with decorative stitching, embroidery. You can have a lot of creativity on this. So, all right, looks like my silk is cut just a little bit wider, but that doesn't matter because we're gonna fix it up here. So there's my lining, and come on up here. I've already cut this piece out. This one stitched the same way. I'm gonna press. What I'm gonna do is just finger the lining out of the way. Just push it out of the way without burning it with the iron, of course. Give it a little pressing. A little pressing. And a little bit more. All right, I'm gonna give it one more stitch over here. And as always, I'm using contrasting threads so you guys can see this, but now I'm gonna change the stitch length to 3.0. And I'm just going to do, this is what you call understitching. I'm stitching the lining to the seam allowance. All the way to the other end. I'm using about 1/8 of an inch of a seam allowance on that, just to get it out of the way. All right, now we go back up to this table. So there's our lining. Now flip this to the back side. And what that understitching does is it allows the lining to stay on the inside of the top. Give it a little pressing here. So you can see how it's pushing it just to the other end. Now, do you have to do anything on your pattern differently? No, I cut 2 yoke pieces, and now I'm gonna show you how to make sure that everything lines up okay, because you're gonna attach this to the back of your jacket. So you can see, it's all laid nice and flat. Go ahead and use a rotary. Rotary cutter is the easiest on this. And what I'm doing is following the lines of my outer jacket to cut the lining. I just find this to be easier than trying to cut the lining a specific way or a little bit shorter. Now I know that that's gonna work great. The inside matches up. So the next thing I'm gonna do is do a nice top stitching along here. You could also do decorative stitching, anything like that. And this would be sewn onto the back of your jacket before you sew the shoulder seams. So that's where that goes. It sews basted along there, along the arm side. Very fun. Can't wait to see what you do with that. And also on our next episode, we're gonna be sewing sleeves.